everyone, and welcome to today's episode of M&A Empowerment. Today's guest is Yelena Dunayevsky. She is a partner and senior vice president at Woodruff Sawyer. Welcome, Yelena. We're so excited to have you. If you could tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role in the M&A process.
All right. Thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. So yes, I am partner senior vice president at Woodruff Sawyer, which is a full service commercial insurance brokerage firm. We are in the process of recently merging with AJ Gallagher, and through that process, we're going to be the third largest insurance brokerage firm in the world. And what I do at Woodruff Sawyer is a couple of things. So I focus on one of my areas of focus is M&A, and what I do there is I work with either private equity firms or strategic buyers and help them structure, negotiate, and incept their M&A related deal insurance coverage. So this includes things like reps and warranties insurance coverage for traditional deals and secondaries transactions and other related transactional insurance products. And really what I do is I get together with the team on the either the PE side or the strategic buyer side, and I help them go through that M&A process and figure out what kind of coverage they would need for the process. And really, my focus primarily is in the mid-market M&A space, but we also work with smaller transactions and much larger deals as well, and including cross-border transactions also. So I hope that explains a little bit my role.
Yeah, super helpful. And congratulations on the merger.
Thanks.
So,
We're
yeah,
excited about it. It'll be great.
excellent. And so next, if you could please describe a recent professional success of yours.
Sure. So there's so many. No, I joke. So something that comes to mind recently, I was working on a transaction with a first-time buyer, and the team. It was a strategic company, not a PE firm, and it was the first time. Deal that this company was going through that involved reps and warranties insurance, and they were kind of skeptical as to whether or not they should be using this kind of product, and they were hesitant about it, but the seller really kind of pushed them to put it in place. And so it was the first time buyer, but also for the attorneys that they had engaged, it was also a first time going through placement of reps and warranty insurance policy. And so everyone was kind of nervous,
Mhm.
especially because the seller's side of the table was very well versed in this kind of a process. They had done this previously and worked in similar kinds of transactions before. And so what really it came down to was a decent amount of hand holding on my end for both the buyer's team and even the attorneys, and kind of helping them through the process, giving them some pointers on how to negotiate not only the policy language, which is what we do all the time, but
Mhm.
also some of the provisions in the purchase agreement that affect policy coverage. And they, really appreciated that we're very super clear on the process, what's going to happen next, and kind of really holding their hand through the entire thing. And at the end of the deal, they were so happy with how it all worked out that they told me they're going to not do another deal without doing a reps and warranties policy. So I think it
Wow.
was a win.
I would
Yeah.
call that, yeah, a substantial success there, especially if,
Yeah.
they came into it knowing nothing. And then now, I mean, it sounds like you've got a client for life there.
Yeah, and it was just incredibly rewarding because I understood that they were hesitant, and I understood all of the emotions they were going through, but having them sort of come out through the process and then come out on a positive with a positive view of it was great. So
Awesome. Great to hear.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
lastly, What would you say to other women who are either interested in getting involved in M&A or maybe already there, kind of working through their career? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, so M&A is an interesting space. Definitely a lot of type A personalities, I'm sure, and I would say, I think what has worked for me, and I've been in the space for a long time, is really, making friends with all participants in the M&A market, or trying to understand all the different pieces that go into the M&A process, and doing that through personal relationships with the people that you know. So whether it's an auditing firm like yours that is involved in the M&A transaction, insurance broking firm like mine, the investment bankers, the attorneys, it's great to have connections in each one of those areas, because when you have those conversations and you've established those connections for yourself, and then have a conversation with these people, throughout your career, they give you amazing pointers and amazing perspectives on what is happening in the market, which you can then take to for yourself to make your transaction better, or advise your client in a more educated way. And I think that's served me incredibly well over the last few years. It takes a lot of time and effort to grow those relationships, but I would say
Mhm.
start early and really pay attention to doing that.
Awesome. Yeah, I completely agree. This has helped me build out my network quite a bit, but it's, the people that I have kind of throughout that whole life cycle and support process and whatnot, it's been invaluable, and just in terms of the other connections and whatnot that I've been able to make for them and they've been able to make for me, and vice versa. So yeah, I completely agree there.
And maybe just one other thing I would add super quickly is that, a lot of the time the M&A process is, or the deals are going fast, and everyone's stressed out. It's very cutthroat. So I would just remind everyone, to differentiate yourself, especially just be kind to people, and I think that will really put you, um, aside and from the rest of the folks that you typically encounter in the M&A space,
Yep.
and make people remember you if you're kind. I mean, obviously stand your ground and support your point, but also just be kind to people.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yelena. Again, this is Yelena Dunayevsky. She's a partner and senior vice president at Woodruff Sawyer. Thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.
Thank you so much.